Welcome to Behind the Badge with your special guest, Lieutenant Williams, your news source for all things police in the city of Fond du Lac.
This is KFIZ Today on a Friday. That means Behind the Badge, your weekly visit with the Fond du Lac Police Department. Lieutenant Ryan Williams is joining us in studio today, and we've got a couple of topics we want to talk about. Sturgeon Spectacular taking place this weekend. Despite the warm weather, it's still going to go on, just not at Lakeside Park, moving everything downtown.
Yeah, I think, honestly, for the special events, there actually might be more attendance this weekend because there's probably less people that are going to be on that lake with the ice conditions that they are. So hopefully that's a good boost at least. We can make a negative and a positive as far as our downtown businesses and stuff like that. So that we can have a good Sturgeon Spectacular and make the best out of a not good ice year.
Yeah, people are always looking for things to do in the winter, and with the weather looking to be comfortable, right in the 30s-ish, I think you're going to have a lot of people going downtown and taking in the weather, and certainly wanted to support the community as well. I think we all feel bad that the lake is not in good condition to be out there and doing what people wish they were doing, so I think people are still going to support the community businesses.
And we all know that people are still going to venture out, and I'm obviously going to advise against that. Even if you keep on the edges, you got to think about how much weight when other cars do the same thing as you do, there's going to be, and we know the results of that. Every year, cars go in. Every year, people continue to drive on, and there's been cars going in with better ice conditions than what we have right now. So be safe out there. Maybe plan different routes if you are going out. Just make sure that you're safe and doing things as safe as possible. There is no safe ice. So, people are going to do it. People know a lot that usually go out there and do that, but it seems like we still have people that take risks, and the cars go in, and now we have a lot of other things to do, and it's kind of interesting. I think like for the downtown activities and the other activities is relatively new for the Sturgeon Spearing thing, and that was kind of like, I think that's like the downtown partnership and the Visitors Bureau. I'm trying to find things for other people to do because not everybody Sturgeon spears, right? And there's some really cool stuff. Like I really like the sculptures, like
sure, yeah,
the ice sculptures. And
competition.
Yeah, it's really neat. All the other things to do. So check that out. This is a perfect year to see that since the ice conditions aren't great.
Absolutely. I know you went ice fishing a couple of weeks ago. Have you ever gone sturgeon spearing? If yes, how did that go?
I have gone sturgeon spearing, and it went. The experience went okay. All the sturgeon were safe for me.
Okay.
And I did find out through that ordeal that I am not a sturgeon spearer. I'm not a patient person.
Okay.
I don't have patience. People equate it to like duck hunting out of a chimney, and it's pretty much like that for me. What I do enjoy, though, I do have a four-wheeler, and I like to kind of visit people.
That's
that
more your
are
style.
Sturgeon spearing. Yeah, that's more my style. So sometimes we'll get a group of people and kind of just go exploring on the ice, and that's more my take.
I've never gone. I'm not just not a big fishy type of guy. Not that I have anything wrong with it. I fished when I was a kid and all that good stuff.
I love the history and the experience of it, and I've been told that once you get one, you're hooked. I don't have the patience for that.
Those things are so creepy looking to me.
Yeah.
And the fact that I grew up swimming in that lake, knowing that those things were hanging around at the bottom, just
Right.
absolutely freaks me out now.
Dinosaurs.
They are, right? They are prehistoric.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. And then, with the legislation kind of going around the state too, if something changes on that, I hope not. I think that we do a really good job with our sturgeon population here in this area as far as, we have people watching the sturgeon as they're spawning, and I think we do everything that we can to control those numbers, so hopefully that does not get ruined in the future.
I agree with you. All right, so other topic today, field training.
Yeah, so those that might have been driving around Fond du Lac this last week, they might have noticed some different squad cars and stuff parked at the Fond du Lac Police Department. The reason is we are hosting we hosted a field training class for field training officers. Some people, I can say that some people might not know what that is. So when you start as a police officer, they don't just hand you the keys to the squad and say, "Hey, go bust some perps," or whatever.
No.
No, they don't do that. what they do is they kind of find a teacher or a mentor or a Padawan, whatever you want to call it, that kind of shows you the ropes. And to do that, we send them to, it's a week-long field training class where they teach those mentors how to be a mentor and things to look for and check. And the field training system that we use has been around for a really long time, and it's really good. It basically rates officers' performance in 10 different categories. Some of them will be like information gathering, some of them are like traffic crash analysis, and some of them are just like officer safety issues and stuff like that. And so during this field training process, which is about 12 weeks long, officers get the opportunity to ride with 4 different field training officers. And they kind of, I always tell them, pick the best of the best, right? Because every officer does things differently. And then they have to kind of like find out what's the best. And they get rated. And that's kind of nerve wracking, I get it. Like that someone's watching your every move and kind of like, you're kind of worried about, doing anything wrong or whatever. But it's also very good because, like I said, you're kind of honing your style. And a lot of times what we find is that those are what really create an officer. I always give I'm a biker. I'm a biker by trade. Well, I try to be. I'm less of a biker lately. But the kids that we send to the academy, I kind of have a little graph in my office, and so it's just a slow, steady climb. And I'm like, that's the academy. Slow, steady climb. It's tough, but you can get through it. You just keep pedaling. And then I show them a very, very steep climb. That is FTO. FTO is hard. It's kind of like drinking through a fire hose. It's a lot of stuff coming at you at once. So your guides through that are very important. And as someone in charge of the field training unit, I put a lot of pride into the journey that officer is going to have. And I really think, I'm like, well, this FTO is really good at traffic. Well, I'm going to need a little bit more of this aspect. Oh, this one's really good at OWIs. So I'm going to get that in there. So I want your complete journey to have a little bit of everything. And I really put a lot of thought into that. It's tough because we have a lot of people training. We've brought a lot of people in here. So I don't have all the time all of my FTOs that are good at at different fields available. But I kind of have been making it work. And I really do think a lot about that journey. And I'm basically the captain of the ship on this journey because every week I meet with the people that are in our field training program, and we kind of just check in. Hey, what's up? What do you need? Like, what problems did you have this week? Where did you exceed? And it's kind of cool. So I'm basically like a coach mentor for them, and then my field trainers they're the hands-on, boots on the ground people that are bringing these people into our family, our police department family. And it's most people that have been a field trainer, they look back on their career and they say that's their most rewarding thing. And it's because you saw where you started from, and when you actually teach or you get those aha moments, those learning moments for your person, it really is rewarding. It can be very frustrating sometimes too, depending on the person.
I'm sure pretty challenging, yeah.
But it's fun to kind of figure out those challenges together. And there's a lot of different options to do that in policing as far as training aspects, so it's kind of fun to just bounce things off. I have one of my things that I've done in FTO, when I was in FTO, I very much enjoyed it, as you can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
And if I had somebody that was good, like you knew they were gonna make it, like they were just doing really good, and I would throw more at them, but then you could kind of have a little more fun too,
Sure.
right? So we have one officer that he swears he still has nightmares about this, but we would always test geography. You always test geography when you're in field training. And what I would do is I'd quiz him and say, hey, get me here to there. And if he took a wrong turn, I would play that Price is Right thing. That said, and every wrong turn, man, he said he had nightmares on that. So
He's still hearing it to this
yes,
day.
he's still hearing it. But yeah, field training is so important. We do 4 phases, and the phases, our ultimate goal is to have the officer do more and more each phase. And it's kind of hard because everyone trains different, but we had a period of time where I was telling the field trainer, they said, you guys gotta let these guys do a little bit more, like, cause you end up, we'll have these awkward pauses sometimes when a person doesn't know what to do, but you have to like get officers to kind of work through that, right? Cause most of law enforcement is working in gray areas, and people, when they come out of academies, they like black and white issues. They like, okay, if this, then that.
Right.
That's not law enforcement.
No.
Like, I could teach you how to do a domestic, to process a domestic violence case, but when you get sent to one, there's always gonna be a different twist. There's always gonna be something to adjust. So we have to teach our officers how to think on their feet, because it's never gonna be the same thing. And I call it like getting on the train tracks. A lot of times, new officers, one thing we have to train out of them is they get on that, oh, I got called to domestic, it's domestic. Well, you find out, oh wait, this doesn't meet domestic criteria, this isn't domestic. Oh wait, this is just a vandalism. You have to get off that domestic track and get onto the vandalism track, and that's a difficult thing, because it's not a black and white issue, it's that huge gray area that law enforcement exists. So it's good, we think about it, we train it, we want people that are free thinkers, can think on their own and aren't just like, robots reciting statutes out of books and stuff like that. So it's really important, and that field training thing is like where most of the learning occurs. It's that steepest curve. We just refined my graph, because after my field training climb, the steep climb, I had just a steady climb, and I said that was patrol. And an officer was in my office the other day. He goes, you need one more thing. I said, okay, well, what's that? He goes, make another mark and then make a flat line. And he says, that mark is the 3-year mark. He says, after about 3 years, you feel pretty confident, and you've kind of been exposed to a lot of stuff, and there's really not, you really kind of got it down after 3 years. So my journey is now complete. We have just the slight incline, the steep incline, a steady incline, and then a flat once you get that 3-year mark, generally, for an officer's journey. But it all starts with field training. It's a very rewarding experience. Our field trainers work really hard. I remember field training, and you're talking like all day long. You get home, you'd sit on the couch, and you're just out. You're just done.
That's neat.
Yeah. So, it's cool. So we have officers from all over the state. We actually have some officers up here from Superior that are at our field training. So they drove 6 hours for this training. So
That's a long ride.
it's kind of cool. Like, you don't realize, we've talked about it on here, but you don't realize some of the things about Fond du Lac that are cool until you're like trying to like tell people like where to go to eat and this and that. And so I was kind of doing that, like, oh, that's cool, like,
I say, yeah, where are you sending them? Where are they going? What are they doing?
oh, well, you know my favorites, and I know it's like all you can eat wings, I believe, at Schmitty's Or House tonight, and I talked about our half-price pizza locations on Wednesdays, and yeah, so they'll be well fed and well informed.
They're gonna go back home, yeah, and not any lighter on the waistline.
Exactly.
That's all right. Awesome. Great updates on field training and Sturgeon Spectacular. We'll catch you next week.
Yep, catch you next week.
It's Behind the Badge, KFIZ today.